So here I'm going to show you how to burn 2 tunes onto the BoostedNW SST adapter with 2timer. You start with your chip across the first 2 pins, which is tune slot number 1. You have the jumpers over that. You put the chip in the burner, and then you go ahead and you open up, preferably, the BoostedNW flash and burn software, as this is the easiest way to write 2 tunes to these chips without having to mess with any of this chip addressing or buffer addressing, like you can see up here. First thing you'll want to do is go ahead and erase the chip. So after you see the erase successful, you would load your first file for basically your tune number 1 by going to load file to buffer. The window will open up. You'll pick the file from wherever you have it saved. Then you'll see it load in here with the name of the file and that it's 32K. You'll also see it says file loaded here. This buffer information up here changed. You'll go ahead and select tune number 1, and you'll see that you have jumpers set to tune number 1, and then you hit write chip. Okay, once it writes the chip, you'll see down here it says write successful. You can go ahead and verify again that the write was successful by pressing the verify chip with buffer button. That'll go ahead and read back what's on the chip versus what's loaded right here with this file. If it says verify successful, then you know that this file is actually wrote onto the chip in tune slot number 1. Now from there, to get your tune in number 2, keep in mind you only did the erase at the initial beginning of this process. You don't want to do it again or it will erase your tune slot number 1. So the next step would be to change the jumper to the second position, across pins 2 and 3, and then in your program you'll load file to buffer. You'll pick your second tune file, and you'll see here that it's loaded in, and also the new file name here. Then you'll pick tune slot 2. It'll say tune 2 selected. You can see down here it changed these chip addressing and buffer addressing to the correct addresses that it needs to be in slot 2. You can go ahead and click write chip. You got write successful, and again you can go ahead and verify chip with buffer. That will verify that this second file is correctly written. Now you see verify successful. Now you have your tune number 2 in tune slot number 2, and it verifies. Now if you want to check number 1 again, you can go back and put your jumpers back over pins 1 and 2 for tune slot number 1. You can load your file to buffer and load your original file. As you see here, this is our original file. If you pick tune slot number 1 and verify with buffer, now you can see that this one does verify in tune slot 1. You can also go, if you switch it to 2, you'll see that it doesn't verify if I do it again. It says not same as buffer because what's in 2 is not this file. So if we go ahead and change this file to the second tune, you'll see that's the second file. Sorry about that. If you verify now, it then verifies that that is in slot 2. And that is all you need. Now that you have both your tunes flashed to the chip, all it takes is switching this jumper, and you can switch back and forth between the tunes. Our burner can be used with HTS directly, but it's much easier to just use our program, which can be found on the burner product page. Down towards the bottom there's a download and a manual link, so you can get access to the product manual and the download for this software. This is the easiest to use with our 2timer SST chips because it lets you pick these two options, which changes these addresses up here. A lot of the times for people that are new to this, it's confusing what these numbers need to be, and if you don't get them correct and you burn the chip, you won't have two tunes, or it'll be messed up in the wrong locations and it won't verify. So the easiest way is just these two easy buttons, and then go through the process that I outlined previously, and you'll be good to go. The other option for switching between these jumpers is you can actually wire a switch to ground, and then one side of the switch to ground, and then the other side of the switch to the middle pin. On the board you can see they're labeled tune 1, tune 2, and then the middle pin shows a ground symbol next to it. That middle pin, if you wire the switch to ground and then the other side of the switch to that pin, will actually switch between your tunes. Then you'll have a switch to control between tune 1 and tune 2.